Hello, my beautiful darlings, and welcome back to Satisfactory. Jeepers, we got a lot of stuff to do. But I'm very pleased with what we did last time, because all of the boring stuff is pretty much done. Now comes the fun bit. We get to figure out how we want our starter factory to be. And I will do my very best to keep it simple for any new players to Satisfactory. Me, I am not a new player to Satisfactory, but I still have freshly in my brain the overwhelming and exciting feeling when I first got into Satisfactory, because we got all of this beautiful space, right? And figuring out, oh, how can I use the resources to make stuff? I might as well pick these up since we are gonna need them. But I'll do my very best that we, as painlessly as possible, can go from using leaves to biomass, and then from biomass to solid biomass, and then from solid biomass, coal. And the quicker we get to coal, the better. Plus, the more trees gets to stay. And I don't know about you guys, but I like my trees. I do not want to have to take out any of the trees if I can help it. But these nice little scrubby scrubs, I'll call those fair game. So we are kind of in a pickle, kinda, since we concrete and iron to get started, which is no biggie, no hunky-dory. And did you just spawn in, Mr. Fluffy? Did ya? So, how are you doing? Good? And speaking of how you're doing, I hope you guys are doing good. But right now, we gotta vamos our behinds back to our little capsule here. And ignore Mr. Fluffy Tail, since we got some handcrafting to do. And hopefully there will be less handcrafting in our future. So, tap your spacebar. See, no hands, which means coffee. But I want to take what's in our inventory right now and turn that into literally just plates, and take our concrete, our limestone I should say, and turn that into concrete, of course. The copper I will actually put aside, since we do not need those right now. We're doing pretty okay. But we might need to make some of it into wire and cable. But that's, again, no biggie. Because today we're putting down foundations. And then we get to put down machines on top of said foundations and store boxes, hopefully. Well, foundations nonetheless. That's the name of the game, and we are gonna do exactly that. Because that means if we do what we're doing, taking our ore, turning them into usable resources, and putting down a foundation, we don't have to take that out again if we do it correctly. And I'm sure some of you might have seen first-time players going through Satisfactory and making glorious spaghetti builds. They plump down a bunch of machines here, there, everywhere, and take a cable and string that willy-nilly around too, without keeping in mind, oh, we might have to expand this. We might have to redo our production line because it's a mess. So by getting all of this boring shenanigans out of the way, let's get to 150 plate. So we can make 150 plates, almost there. There we go. 150 plates. Yes, please. Give me, give me, give me, give me. Like I said in the last one, I want to make this a how to not make a spaghetti bowl unnecessarily. Even though spaghetti is nice. But we do not want spaghetti belts in our build. Because once it's down, and we do not want to have to go unnecessarily back and take out all of the machines, all of the throwing, and redo stuff unnecessarily. That's the hope anyways, and we're almost done with the plating. And this will keep us going for a bit. So, tap the space bar, and let's make some concrete. And I will show you guys why in just a minute, once we have some concrete in our bag, so to speak. Well, thanks a lot, Mr. Bean. Your confidence means a lot. Yeah, that's another thing to get used to. The beans, they have a tendency to laugh at you. Or it feels that way, at least. I don't think they mean anything by it, but it's just a tiny bit disheartening. Disheartening? Disheartening. Yes. Disheartening! And I may or may not be on my second pot of coffee. And I will not say anything if you don't. Done! Alright. Let's add some more wire so we can get a bit more cable. Because we are gonna need both. And the rod situation is looking fairly decent. So, that's good. Let's get those 16, 15, 14, 30, 10, 7. Okay, good. Now, let's make a tiny bit of cable. That'll do. And we got, because we're gonna need that for the ma'am. And I'll explain why as well. Drawing done. I've been so excited to do this since the last time we were here, and I really had to restrain myself from not just going ham and getting it all laid out. So here is our foundation, right? It's a standard affair, a nice little square, right? But if we get up on that ledge, and we're gonna disturb Mr. Fluffytail a tiny bit, mainly because he will be in the way, just a smidge, and hopefully he will move, so we can do what we gotta do. But if possible, find a place with a slight elevation, right? And now we have the foundation out. On your keyboard, hold down Control. See that? It snaps, right? And you might be thinking, what on earth is snapping to? There's nothing to snap to here. Why is it doing that? That's a nifty little trick that I learned about a bit too late. But it's a nice little thing. And the reason why we're going with the 4 meters, or we could even go with the 2 meters, honestly, and not the 1 meters. Fluffy, sweetie, could you move? We can do it here. And press your R. That allows you to change the different modes that we can put down foundations. Right now we got it on default, but if we press again and we get the swoop mode. Buddy, you can't stay there. I'm sorry, but you can't. And right now I am just going through our little minors there. It's fine, I promise. We can get them out. It's no biggie. But the reason why you want to put down your foundations and holding Control for the first one at least is now, no matter how else you put down your foundation, so to speak, and you know you got them aligned with your Control button, is now on what is called the world grid, which means no matter how you put down your future constructions, and you know you've got them on the world grid, they will all align. The only difference will be height. Right? Elevation in terrain. And so we don't just have a square. I have a very dumb idea. So let's put that there. And we gotta plug that straight on top. Drag that over. Because that means the spot where we got the miners hanging around, that, my darlings, are gonna be Fluffy. Would you please a bit more? There you go, thank you. Let's get back to Swoopy Swoop. where we put our machines. So the only thing we will have on the lower level and get our handy dandy ramp. Are our miners. And also it allows us to get a bit more interesting structure going as well. Fluffy, is that you again? Kinda. Okay. It's fine. Let's just make a tiny bit more materials. Later we will be able to get different types of flooring and walls and what do we call them? Ornamental pieces and pieces to help us with making our factories a bit more beauteous. But for now we are gonna stick to rudimental stuff, which is fine. Doesn't mean we can make it look good though. Almost as good as Octi, even though Octi is angry today. Well, yes you are. But then again, I shouldn't be surprised. Octi is being a bit of a meanie. This is taking forever. Let's just make that into place, and we need to get a tiny bit more limestone and we should be golden. Kinda. Oh, do any of you guys watch Disney Plus? And in case you missed it, Nick Fury has his own show now, so to speak. Goes a tiny bit more into depth with what his dealio is, which is nice. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. Oh, you guys are loud. Do I feel bad for Mr. Fluff? Tiny bit. And since we're here, we might as well grab these. Kinda. Now we have a bit more building materials. We can get cracky-lackin'. So this floor here that we're standing on, that is gonna be what I like to call a pancake floor. And some people refer to it as a logistical floor. But you know what? I like pancakes. So, pancake floor is more fun. And fun. Who doesn't like that? And besides, here in my country, Denmark, we have a beverage set of dealio that you mix with water. and you get a nice flavored water. And that one is named Fun. The brand, I should say. Since it comes in different flavors. Kind of feel like we need to extend this a bit more. So let's just do that. Otherwise it's gonna bite us in the ass later. Did we? No, we did not. Good. It feels a bit sluggish today in game. I don't know what's going on. I know NVIDIA had an update, but I don't think the update should make it feel sluggish. And we will be adding more ramps to stuff and make it support it. Right now, we're making sure we got all the floors down that we may or may not need. And in our case, I will say we will need it. We can always take away floors, but adding them later can be a bit of a pain. So, bit more building now, so to speak, with the flooring, hopefully. And then we should be able to oh, what I just did there was point at it with my pointer and click my middle mouse button so I can grab what we have. And now we have a decent amount of space, which is lovely. Let's do some replacing here. Production, I need a miner. Oh, I'm missing one concrete. Of course I'm missing one concrete. What else is new? It's like going to the store and you're missing 5 cents. Right now we're just gonna deal with getting some lovely iron up and running. And those rampy bits, we can decide where we want them to stay permanently. Right now, they're just nice to have so we can get up and down. And I just butted a beanie. Well, thankfully this is not gonna take like forever. Unlike making all of those iron ore into ingots. Alright. Well, I don't mind you pointing that way actually. That is all well and good. Right. And we do have some basic wall here. So that is where we're gonna aim our lifts towards. Since we do not have any of the front walls yet, but I think by doing this, we later can exchange it for a more appropriate wall. Let's see. You're gonna give us 60. Right. And this is probably 62. Yep, so that is 120, which is a Mark II belt that we do not have right now. That would be... What if we pointed the wrong way, so to speak? Like that. That way it will not interfere with our walkway. And it can get merged with that. Good. Okay. Mr. Muff, you are taking away the sunlight. I'm just gonna put that down here. Since we are indeed gonna need that. I'm gonna take that up 2 floors. Let's make it 3. Why not? So now we have a bit of a layout. But honestly, I think we might have to wait with the pancake floor. Which is a shame. But once we get our smelters in, and then we can take it a floor up, I think that would help. We got our storage box, which is great. And we got a splitter. Which is also great because that line is gonna give us 60, which means we get to get 2 smelters, right? That way we have used up all of us, or used up all of our iron ore from this miner. And I don't have my blade runners. So this would be a nice simple way of setting it up, so to speak. Which for now is not terrible. Can I get up here? Yes. But I do want this to sit a bit more nicely. You see how the bells were doing their thing? But I would love it to be a bit more to a bit more like that, right? And if we keep this a bit more separated, so to speak, like that, is a bit more neat. Beanie, not to complain, but how did you manage to get up here? Typical. And that we're gonna bring forward. And then we're gonna take our belt. If we had enough, great, we don't. I didn't use that many, did I? Oh, maybe just a wee bit. Fine, fine. But we have already got the first step to an iron production that is automated. So, yay. And since we gotta turn our ore into ingots, we might as well turn our leafy friends into biomass as well. It's a tiny bit more efficient than just burning leaves, or just burning the wooden sticks as well. But I'm so glad they added in the options to give us more pocket space from the get-go. Even though I miss my pocket mod. It gave me 50 spaces in my pockets. It was nice. Now, how many ingots should we make? At least 100. That way the only thing we will have to get pretty quickly is a bit more limestone to make some concrete. Yeah. Well, that was terrifying. Did you guys see that? It was a shadow. Just sitting here minding my own business, making some iron ingots. There's the shadow again. I wonder if this is the bean. It might be the bean. Trying to be a freaking prankster and being like, let's terrify the pioneer. Yes. Because the pioneer is to be terrified. Almost there. Because I do want to keep a tiny bit on us to help out the smelters from the get-go. so the ore can build up on the line. Make a tiny bit more iron rods too. Come on, buddy. Plates. Give me the plates. All of the plates. All of them. Oh. You haven't gone and gotten yourself a snack yet? What the fudge? Or at least get something to drink. Well, it's warm. Yeah, I'm gonna give you bombastic side eye. Because we gotta stay hydrated in this heat. This warm weather. And since we are meandering back, I really think I gotta take a look-see at my settings again. Some of it looks good, and some of it looks a bit questionable at the moment. Wait, Mr. Fluffy Pants. Would you please get off the platform, please? Well, let's see. Organization. And get my line. That way we do have a tiny bit of a buffer. So we got a tiny bit of ingot build up before putting them into machines. And I can already tell that we will need to expand our platform a wee bit more. But it's not a problem. But what is we are gonna get that miner over there. And then we're just gonna keep the two we have on the other node. Jeepers brain. You know, sometimes your brain is just like, nah, I know you want to say something that is very important, but I don't care, I'm not gonna help you. Yeah, that is literally my brain every day. Most of the time it's fine though. But when you really, really want your brain to cooperate a wee bit, oh yeah. It's not very helpful. Like, this is not very helpful either. Oh well. Let's make a crafting bench. And I did spot that we have a nice little nook down here. That's a nice little nook. we might as well take full advantage of that. Because, like I said, I want to keep the lower floor here for our smelters and for a buffer box, kinda. So our machines needs to be upstairs. And also we need to set up some biomass burners. But they are gonna need their own little setup. So once we get a tiny bit more concrete, almost there. What do you think you're doing, Mr. Fluffytail? No, you can't go into the workbench. I'm sure this looks like fun, but I was thinking if we put them here, tiny bit out of the way, but also close by to what we need them to be. It will make sense. So if we bring that in and turn them that away. Am I out of plates again? Of course I am. And then we can extend that so we have a nice walkway. Yeah. See, planning taking shape already. Not too shabby dabby. Not too shabby. Oh, do I have any licorice? It needs a refill. I've been saving this piece. So good though. That is a good fluffy tail. Well, I don't think he's a fan of compliments, but yeah. And once we get the awesome shop and awesome sink, put a nice doorway here. Oh, it's gonna be great. Start with 3. I think that is a good number. It would be possible. Okay. I'm just thinking here, peeps. Just thinking. So, if we get nice little box there. And then we need a constructor. Scoot that a tiny bit closer. Connect that to the box. And I will explain why in just a second. What am I missing? More plates and rods. Okay. Okay, game. Isn't it funny that sometimes you forget how many resources are needed? They are in line, yeah. And then we can daisy chain that. Well, the reason why I did want to set up an extra box is because the constructors here can turn the leaves into biomass. So that way you don't have to feed the machines yourself, so to speak. You just feed the box. And if you ask me, that is kind of nice. And I'm gonna place those a tiny bit in. You can put them on the edge if you feel like it. But I like to bring them in just a wee bit. And if you press 2 on your keyboard, you get your cable so you can connect what you need. I want to get something running today. Didn't we put away some more leafy stuff at the base? I think we did. More handcrafting. But honestly, this is not bad as a first step, so to speak. Oh, it's doing good. Right. Give me some more plates. If we get tiny bit more, like that. And then we're gonna turn the rest into rods for now. Goody, goody, goody. And let's put you there-ish. And grab you to go here. And again, a tiny bit off center, because it's gonna be easier later to put in walls if it's off center just a wee bit. And though, yes, it's kind of frustrating having to do that, but in the long run, it's gonna look better. And you don't have to redo power as quickly. And we got ingots going. Woohoo! Oh yes, happy days. Happy, happy, happy days. I promise I will stand still in just a bit. It's a tiny bit off center, but it's a going. It's a going. Is that a visual glitch? What's going on here? Yeah, that is better. Much more better. Oh, I'm so happy with this. Of course, we're not done, but this is a very nice start. Very nice indeed. And now for a kamikaze jump. Well, I was thinking when we have to extend this, which we will, and extend it this way with the and a bit that way for the constructors and the bins. It'll be good. It'll be fine. So let's check the box, and then we shall grab some concrete and a tiny bit more of these scrubby bits. Yeah, that's what I thought. Good. And then you can go in there for now. And so can the flower. And now I can put those in the box for the constructor to make the leaves into biomass. That one is harvestable. And that one. Unfortunately, these will have to go anyways, since we will have to expand our little foundation there. Well, these two minions are doing a great job. They really are. Okay, Mr. Constructor. I need you to produce some biomass. If we take it from there, soft clip it, and there. And I'm missing one rod. Of course I am. And now, thankfully, we will not have to take iron ore. Now we can grab a stack of ingots, which are gonna help a lot. There you go. So let's make some more rods. We are gonna need them anyways, so might as well. And some more platies. Once again, we might as well, because we are gonna need them, so. Even Mr. Fluffytail is agreeing with me. Good. Good, good, good. And then we shall quickly make some concrete as well. Because once again, we are gonna need it. But look at us go. We got foundations down, we got miners down. We are making ingots. And soon we will be automating concrete too. Get some automating on the plates and the rods. And then we shall tackle the copper as well. That's the plan, Stan. That's the plan. Right, let's try this again. Yeah, like that. That way later we can add a lift here with no issues and combine it into another box. Yes. I'm missing. Of course I'm missing. What else is new? Tiny bit more screws. But honestly, just being able to not having to craft the biomass by hand in itself is going to be very helpful. And we got an autosave incoming. Thank you, autosave. Now this one is gonna make biomass out of wood. And unfortunately we do not have access to customization yet. Otherwise I would recolor the machines and the boxes to help out later. But we got a good plan coming together. And it's not gonna be a teeny tiny startup base, which is good. But if we can make a concrete wing, so to speak, that wouldn't be terrible either, would it? Now, let's grab that. You're gonna be a pain in my neck, aren't you? Yeah. Because we do not have any concrete. Great job, me. But honestly, it's fine though. Since we got our little crafty bench here, and we already know the drill, spacebar it is. So it's not so bad. And we already have some stuff going, so honestly, I'm not mad at it. And yes, this is a bit more slow way to get to automation. But honestly, in the long run, I think this is the better way to go. And don't get me wrong, I do understand the excitement on getting stuff into the machines and making them go. It is very exciting. But hopefully you guys do get the gist of why we're taking the slower road, so to speak. Because the only things I kind of feel like we should ever have to move is the space elevator and the hub for better and permanent placements. The other things I will not ever have to move again, so to speak. Upgrade, sure. There you go. And don't forget to check your bio burners if they need a bit more food, so to speak. Nah, they're doing fine. They're doing absolutely fine. Alright. Honestly, let's make that 4. And this is gonna be for future windows. And why am I going up that high, you might be thinking? Well, it's because we are gonna need a floor to put in machines to make our plates and rods and screws. I just want to get a tiny bit more building done, and then I want to go get a hard drive and see if we can be lucky. Yeah, it needs to be that high. I'll be fine though. We're gonna need a tiny bit more concrete. And then we shall grab a tiny bit of biomass and go see if we can't find a hard drive nearby. Because that is gonna be the last thing we do today. Is getting that nice hard drive. Mainly because for the screws I want to use a alternate recipe that takes iron ingots and turn the ingots directly into screws, so we can keep our rods for other things than having to turn most of our rods into screws. And besides, later we will need that recipe anyways, so trying to look for it now, I don't think it's bad. Let's see, the closest one I think is closest to the copper area. So let's just meander up there. And while we're walking, let's get a tiny bit of the scrubbery. I do love this area. It is beautiful, but regarding resources, it's not the most optimal place to start. But for a new player, it is. But if you've done this many a times, it's kind of not. A couple thing it does have going for it. Plenty of green. Nice little nuggets. Plenty of berries. And not so many terrible things trying to eat you. Oh, they're here, but again, not the worst place. Oh, would you look at that? There's a little sulfur nubbin. And since we're here, we might as well grab this. Thank you, Ada. Which means bombastics. Which is great. Or explosive rebarb. sorry, buddy. That's a focused on picking up green stuff. Let's see, the water is here, which is great because there are coal nodes nearby too. Can't remember about the sulfur though. Aha! Would you look at that? But since we are in passive mode, hey Mr. Fluffy, these babies are not gonna try to kill us. Later, unfortunately, I will have to 40. We can do 40. Sure. So, uno más. And a pole. And a tiny bit of cabling. Let's just feed it. And bring that down. And then we get to take our resources back. And see, all of these goodies we are gonna grab. Oh, that is good. Reinforced plating for the win. Oh joy. Okay, anything else that we want to grab? Hi buddy. Motors. Beautiful motors. And more plating. Oh joy. Alright. And since we've been here, sorry Mr. Fluffies, we are gonna place a tower, and that way when we find it later we can go, oh wait, there's a tower here. Oh, we've been here. Okay. Again, very helpful. Especially when you're a bit of a squirrel. I could have sworn I... Hello there, precious. So we need to go more that way. Okay. And don't be an idiot. AKA, don't do what I do. In case you haven't watched any of my earlier Let's Play Satisfactory videos, I have a tendency to jump off way too high areas, and it's not a good habit. It's almost more deadly than smoking and coffee consumption. Well, At least we are in a familiar area, and look how stunning it looks already. Well, not stunning, but it's already looking like something. Okay, who am I kidding? It's kind of stunning. Why? Because we made it. Now, next to our little crafting bench, so to speak, you know what? Let's set up a map. Yeah. She is on this. I can't make a map yet? What kind of shenanigans is that? Fine, I'll put it in the box then. That's kind of disappointing. Right. And we got leaves. And we got a tiny bit of wood. And we can fill up the biomass burner since we are here anyways. Here. And much more better. Let's see, does that look better? Yep. And don't worry, there will not be a gap here soon. Sometimes it's nice just to get a shape going that looks decent, and then you can refine it later. I just want to make sure we put away the hard drive and the motors because they will not be needed right now, and the slug. Save the berries, that one, and the sulfur. Yeah. Those birds, they look like fun though. I wish we could grab the birdies and put them up on our shoulders like a pirate. I don't know why, I just want to be a space pirate. With a space pirate. And a space robot. And a spaceship. Let's just take a little peek this way and see if there's anything good before we call it a total day. Well, there's a nice little bit of water here. Which is lovely. Unfortunately, right now we do not have any use for it, which is a shame. Kind of makes me a bit sad. Small kamikaze jump. It's such a good thing that I get to be not vulnerable. But again, if I wasn't aware of my tendencies to jump off things I shouldn't, it wouldn't be turned on. Wait a minute, is that crystal? I think that might be crystal nubbing up here. Which again, we are gonna need later. It is. Which is great data, but we do not have the MAM yet. But soon we will have the MAM. And honestly, we did a lot today. Yeah. And a tiny bit of dilly-dallying. Which some might call unnecessary shenanigans, but honestly, unnecessary shenanigans, that's the way to go sometimes. And let's copy and paste what we already did. So next time we can be banging out some constructors. Oh, this one is going to be a tiny bit tricky. Well, we could just reconfigure this a tiny bit. And that way we get a bit more of a funky shape too. Yeah, sure, sure. Why not? Because even though we are essentially making a box, but does it mean that we need to make a boring box? No, no, we do not need to make a boring box. All right. Let's see. That looks about right. And now we can bring that in there-ish. Oh, it's nice with a bit of a walkabout, so to speak. Because that gives you a good opportunity to have a think. And that actually helps. But what if we jerry-rig it just a wee bit? So we get a nice bit of Really? There, thank you. Let's see, we need a smelter. And we need it to turn the right way. Please and thank you. These two we will have to keep a tiny bit closer, which is gonna be fine. Yep, and a box. And I'm out of plating, of course I am. But it is taking shape though, we are getting somewhere. Yay! Okay. Kind of feel like we should expand this steppy step a wee bit. And back into the nest we go. Well, last round of plating and last round of concrete for today. But I am very proud of us. Yes. Plenty of headway. We now have a vision for our first floor. And we know we are gonna need a little bit of a pancake floor, and then we need a production floor. So honestly, not too bad. And we're making sure we have room to walk around in here and room to add some more interesting features later once we buy them. But the 2 ingots that we have on us still, you know what? We can turn those into rods. We might as well. Thank you. But what if we do that and then have a big weight in here on this side? And then we can add a wall along here for now. Let's just like that. So we got a nice little hallway, so to speak, there. And then we can overlook our biomass burners, if I could speak. And the answer to that is normally no. Well, thank you, autosave. That was remotely painless. Which is a surprise, indeed. Okay, we get that. Yep, and we still got room in between. So if we need be, we can add a splitter. Yeah. Now, the question is, Let's do that. And then we need to go there. 1, 2. Now wait. We get a nice turny turn. And then more boxes, please. That is all good. Don't you just love it when a plan comes together? Okay, one more round of plating. I want to get the last 2 boxes in. We're gonna extend the floor just a wee bit. So we still got room to move and groove and move around. Since our current way of getting up and down is limited, kinda. Which means a bit more room. Which is okay. But honestly, I am liking where this is going. And even though we started out with a basic shape, it's now not a boring shape, so honestly, happy days. I give up. Not really. But you know, when you're so close, and yet so far. And I feel like we are at that stage where we're so close and yet so far. I think Mr. Bean got tired of being on a tour. So now we got, let's count them, why not? 60 ingots, 120 ingots, 150, 180, 1. And we got a nice peekaboo window here. Yes, yes, yes. Good. You know what? I think we are gonna go one further. Bring that up on the side too. That way we get some nice panoramic views here and there. And that will be changed out of the way later. But yes. And we will get a great view from up there once we get up there, of course. But for today, we did good. Can I get up there? I think we can. Let's get up there. And then save and say goodbye. And while we head up there, we might as well pick some stuff. But don't worry, soon we will be at more efficient power. And why is it not picking up leaves? I look, I press, and nothing. Oh yeah, this is gonna be great. We'll have a nice funky shape, plenty of room for our machines, space for expansion, with it out of getting too squished, cramped. And everything is fairly organized. We got buffer boxes. So later we can put in a smart splitter for overflow. So I dare say, not too shabby. Honestly, I wish I could go back and talk to Priamy about startup bases. And I wish I would have listened to my friend Di. She did warn me about the spaghetti bowl. Did I listen? No. Why? Because I like pasta. I love pasta. No, mainly because I needed to figure out the best way for me to build stuff anyways. Because that's how I learn. And that way I can bestow what I have learned onto others. And hopefully it helps just a wee bit. And if you need help with anything, let me know. And hopefully this is not too boring and repetitive and or uninformative. Because if it is, I will change the tactic and do my very best to make it a bit more enjoyable. But honestly, I think we rocked this. And I can't wait to paint those walls. Don't get me wrong, fix it orange. But does it suit all of this beautiful green? Ooh, Death Star. Zoom, zoom. Seriously, it does look like a Death Star. There you go. But it's so stinking cool. And depending on which side of it you catch, so to speak, there are little fix-it lights on it. So some unfortunate pioneer is stuck there. So good. It's not us. Honestly, very But it's not us. But yeah, that is all. Pod safe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. I'm just gonna continue grabbing some basic stuff, like making sure we got concrete for the next time. Craft some iron stuff. Because now you know the drill. But honestly, we got a pretty good first floor layout. And plenty of room to add in a logistic floor, so to speak, which is going to be needed. And also adding in machines soon. More machines. And more boxes. There is a method to my madness. I promise it will make sense. And honestly, I'll see you in the next one, hopefully, and do not forget to do all of those wonderful good things down below, like hitting the like or dislike, maybe even subscribe, maybe, in case you want to see my silly mug again. And that's all, folks. Oh, look at Mr. Moth.